Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great Monday. We have a show full of the hottest topics everyone's talking about, so definitely join the conversation. Let us know what you think about the topics. We're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Of course, our official website, StephenKnightShow.com. Rather watch us, go to our YouTube channel, Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe and comment. We have merch at our website, so check it out. Check it out. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The month is coming to an end, but definitely make sure you're doing everything you can, men and women, to be preventative with this disease. Early detection is always the best. Make sure you're registering to vote. We have some elections coming up, very important. And again, we're sending our thoughts and our prayers to the people of Israel and Palestine. Innocent people are being killed on both sides. And so we're definitely sending our thoughts and prayers to everyone affected. All right, family, how y'all feeling? Y'all doing good?
All right.
It's a Monday for sure. I can tell you that. I'm feeling it. Well, listen, our question of the day is, what is your biggest accomplishment this year so far? I'll start with you, Lanier.
I'm still surviving.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And your movie going to the film, the festival. That's huge.
She can't know why I feel the way I feel about that, but yes. I mean, yes, you're right. You are so right. You are so right. Thank you for, bringing me back to reality. You're right.
I get
Providence.
it.
Yes.
Providence, yes. Chike, what about you?
I would say this past year of my not so new job anymore, at the new hospital, I am the only one of my kind, and I have a lot on my shoulders, and it's been a year, and I'm still loving it, and yeah, I'm enjoying that. I'm liking where I'm at right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think for me, I made a commitment to myself around my birthday in March for self-development, career development, self-improvement, and I've been committed to that, and I've stayed on it all year since March. So I feel really good about that. Lanier?
I'm sorry. You're right. I am officially a BLS instructor. That means I can teach CPR. I got my certification.
Congratulations. See? Sometimes you have to think back. You have to think back because, this year has gone, and I think the older you get, the year go by faster. And so you just think back of everything that happened this year so far. You're like, oh, it's been cool.
Can I since this is a very organic conversation, and I know I'm cutting into time, but this is normally what happens when I get around that lady up there and we get to talking. But there's a synergy in the air, and it is screaming, appreciate yourself.
Yeah.
Take the time out to appreciate yourself. Sometimes it's about survival. We're just moving through life, making things happen. And in the course of making things happen, you're growing and you're elevating yourself at the same time. And you may not even be cognizant of it, but the fact that you're surviving is growing you.
Yeah.
And you're accomplishing things. So pat yourself on the back and recognize you're awesome out here.
And also give yourself grace. And I have an issue with doing that. I'm not, I do not give myself the grace that I should.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle, and it's the conversation that I do have with my therapist. And like Chike knows, when something happens, not only do I feel it, I wear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes me a minute. It takes me a minute to shed it. Mm-hmm. So then it clouds everything else that I've been doing.
Right.
So I'm really, really working on that.
I get it. Let me tell you this one. I was going through my phone today. I was looking at old pictures and things, and a picture popped up of when you were in Atlanta and we all went out. And I was thinking how much fun that was that night, So yeah. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. But tweet us out and let us know what is the biggest accomplishment this year for you thus far. All right, so Jay-Z's waiting, and there's a big conversation about would you rather have $500,000 or go to lunch with Jay-Z? And obviously, the thing going to lunch with Jay-Z, you learn his business savvy. You pick up different gems from him. Well, he was asked about it by Gayle King of CBS Mornings, And he said that he would definitely take the $500,000 because all his gems are in his music. He said, so listen to the music. He said, but the money, you can take that to invest in what you wanted to do. So he definitely said he would take the money. Chike, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with him?
I mean, yes, he's right about that. I mean, I think that's the reason that he's an artist is that's how he communicates with us through his art. You know, he puts it in the words that he knows best. But even just to sit down and have a conversation with him in the time frame that I would want to know the things that I would want to know, I would want that $500,000 because Jay-Z doesn't have the time to tell me the things that I want to know. He doesn't have the time. Exactly. So yeah, give me the money, give me the loot.
Right. Linnea, what are your thoughts?
We hear this all the time. Everyone's path is different. Mm-hmm. How they get to wherever they're going is completely different than how you are going to get to wherever you're going. And that's if you're proactive in your journey. If you're stagnant in your journey, then this is not a conversation for you. But I would take the money. Because at the end of the day, and I saw the question posed to people, and a lot of people said that they would take the lunch.
Yeah.
But I think you're thinking in the sense of a fan, of just sitting down so you can take a picture and say you went out to lunch with Jay-Z.
Right.
You're not thinking about the bigger picture of what you can do with that money and how you can set up potential generational wealth for your family and yourself. Mm-hmm. So, the mindset of people nowadays, it's kind of like, it's not like that question of if you could pick one person who's passed on, who would it be? That's a completely different conversation.
Right.
But this I need that money and I need you to like wire it to my account. I want no check.
Right.
I want check. Wire it to my account. And I need to make sure that it's in there and that it's good, because then I'm just going to do what I need to do so you can't snatch it back.
Exactly. Yeah. I definitely take the money on this one. And, but Jay-Z's a brilliant businessman and he's telling you take the money. All right. So a Turkish airline, Corridon, believes that they have a solution for long flights of crying babies. The airline has introduced child-free zones on the aircraft. These zones are strictly for adults and cost about $47 extra for economy seats in the section and $102 for extra for seats with extra legroom. Now, the child-free zone option will be offered on a 10-hour flight from Amsterdam to Krakow for now. Now, passengers in this section must be at least 16 years old. The adult-only zone will be separated from the family zone by curtains and walls on the aircraft. Now, the policy will go into effect November 3rd for the specific route. What are your thoughts? Would you pay this money to be in a child-free zone? I'll start with you, Linnea.
So you mean to tell me I'm being penalized and I'm the one that's not traveling with a child? How come the parents can't be penalized? You want to travel with a kid?
Yeah.
You have to pay more. So why would I have to pay more to try to have some semblance of peace on an airplane? Because it's already stressful getting on a plane.
It is.
You tack on a crying baby. I'm not feeling that. I gotta pay more. And how much more peaceful am I gonna get if the baby is crying throughout the whole plane?
Right, exactly.
That don't even make sense.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Chike.
What kind of wall are they going to build on an airplane to keep the sound from going from the back of the canister to the front of the canister?
Yeah.
What kind of wall is that? Because they need to start making some of these buildings out of those walls.
Right.
But I have a bigger question, right? All this hoopla about the kids on the plane and the noise and all this stuff, right? Last time I checked, babies weren't allowed in bars. So why do they serve alcohol on planes and there's babies in there? I think if it's alcohol on the flight, no kids should be on the flight.
Well, I have my headphones on the whole time, so I don't even hear the babies crying. And I'm the first one. I fall asleep before the plane takes off, so the baby don't bother me. The baby don't. You know, some people say they can't sleep on planes. I sleep. Please.
That's me. I can't sleep on planes.
That's Jay. Jay cannot sleep on no plane. As soon as I sit in my chair and I buckle
I'm
up,
knocked out. Knocked out. Right.
I'm out.
I need to be aware. I need to see. I'm like Lunel. I gotta look and see what's going on.
And don't let it be a flight coming back home, because nine times out of 10 we probably did a little partying. I'm really gonna sleep on that flight.
Oh my God. And the only time Jay wakes me up when it's time for that snack cart to come
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My man know me. He know me. He know me. Yeah,
that's the worst feeling when it's past you and you knocked out. And you wake up.
He makes sure. He wakes me up.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, a 15-year-old is going above and beyond to get Drake's attention so that he can attend her Sweet 16 birthday party at the end of the year. So the parents of the Houston teen, Maya Garcia, bought her a billboard that went up on Jacinto City of I-10 and came with a special invite. Drake, you're invited to my Sweet 16, read the big billboard, which includes an image of Maya on the left side and a photo of Drake on the opposite side. The invite also signed as being from his biggest fan. Speaking of Houston Chronicle, she said, I explained it to my mom and she made it happen for us. And I'm really surprised. Really, really loved it. Now, they talk about Drake. He had a concert in September and he mentioned that he actually bought a home in Houston. He said after years, after all these years, I finally found a place in Houston, Texas, and I'll be around. Y'all be seeing me around. Now again, her Sweet 16 is at the end of the year, so it gives Drake some time. Remember, he said he's taking a break from music to take care of his health. So, do you think Drake's gonna make the party, GK?
That would be really nice of him. That would be very nice of him.
Yeah.
It could be a moment in history.
Yeah. And she said it'd definitely be life-changing for her if it happened. Linnea, now, do you remember back when Tyler Perry, there was an actress that she bought the billboard and wanted to be in one of his movies or plays or something like that, and he saw it and actually gave her a role? Do you think this is a good stunt?
No. You open yourself up to more than what you bargained for. And even Tyler Perry told that young lady, like, that was a little bit too much, because you put yourself in a position with forces that you have no control over.
Yeah.
But this whole Drake thing, I mean, in theory, it might sound cute, but that's a grown man. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you just want him to come just to show up? Like, what? Just to be like, I had Drake at my Sweet 16? I don't, like, what's the reason? You can be a fan. That's fine, but that's a lot, because billboards ain't cheap.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They're not cheap. So, you're putting a lot into that and banking on that. So what happens, not even knowing what that man's schedule is, what happens and he's not able to? Well, he can't. Are you no longer a fan, or,
Right. Yeah.
Because I feel like that puts a certain type of pressure on a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, now people are going to be expecting for him to respond, but what if he doesn't want to? Then he's going to look like the bad guy. But I don't know. It's a tricky thing.
It's interesting. Kiki Wyatt, she has a new reality show, and she was talking about she feels like she's a prisoner in her own home, because if she goes out and people recognize her, they're going to ask for a picture. If they ask for a picture and she doesn't have time, she says no, she comes off as the bad person. And so obviously Drake is a lot bigger and successful than her in terms of from a music perspective, but I can only imagine getting these kind of requests and not be able to fulfill them all. You know what I mean? I'm sure he gets a lot of people wanting him to attend certain things, from fans, and I don't know. But her parents must have money, because, like you said, they're not expensive billboards. All right, well, this story is interesting. So Dave Chappelle reportedly sparred with a crowd of a recent show in Boston and had fans walk out on him after calling Israel's war crimes in Gaza. amid the current conflict in the Middle East. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, the 50-year-old comedian and actor aired out his grievances regarding the Israel-Gaza conflict while performing at the TD Garden Arena in B-Town on Thursday evening. Reportedly, Chappelle brought up the conflict while speaking on reports of students losing their job offers for supporting Palestinians. He allegedly said they shouldn't be condemned for showing support. After that, it was then reported that an audience member did not like what Chappelle said and told him to shut up, which drew an alleged emotional response from the comedian, who then condemned Hamas' attack on October 7th, but also slammed Israel's bombing of Gaza. Now, per the Wall Street Journal, the comedian began criticizing the Israeli government for cutting off water and other basic necessities in humanitarian aid to Gaza. Attendees also claimed the comedian then went on to accuse Israel of also killing innocent people. Attendees claimed that some of the audience members applauded and cheered on Chappelle's shouting "Free Palestine," while others opposed his stance and yelled out, "What about Hamas?" Now, Wall Street Journal reports that at the moment, several people in the crowd got up from their seats and walked out on Chappelle. Reportedly, some audience members later took to social media claiming that Chappelle's words made them feel unsafe. One person wrote, "The audience was cheering Chappelle on during his tirade. I was sick. We were sick. I turned to my friends and my wife and I said, I think it's time to go. We walked out and met with many other Jews leaving the show. Never in my life ever felt so fearful and of what I was witnessing." Now, here's the surprising thing. So, let me say this part. Chappelle did, at the end of his show, he did say that both parties had war crimes, and two wrongs don't make a right. So he wasn't taking one side or the other. But this is the interesting thing. So Daily Mail reports that they spoke to Chappelle's representative about the event on that Thursday, and they said he was never there. Although there were ads about the show and nothing about it being canceled was ever put out there. So it was like, are they lying or what are they playing damage control? But what do you think? I know this is a touchy subject for so many people because a lot of people don't really understand the war. And people are offended on both sides. So, Chika, let me ask you, what do you think about Dave Chappelle speaking on this?
I mean, Dave Chappelle's always going to be controversial. It's a part of who he is as an artist. I don't know why people get up in arms. I mean, comedians are the ones in our society that, dare to push those type of envelopes because they hang in the balance. Mm-hmm. That's the nerve that needs to get touched in order for us to spark a conversation like we're talking now. So I think it's vital to our society that we have people that like that. Everything is not for everybody. And depending on what your viewpoint is of this war or all this hostility that's going on, it's personal to you. All I think about are the innocent people and the children that are being hurt. I can't stand seeing those videos with those crying babies.
Yeah. I saw one video where the doctor was trying to calm a child down, and the child just looked so shook, like at what they just experienced. It's horrible. Linnea, what are your thoughts on Dave Chappelle, his remarks regarding the war?
I really don't have anything because I saw some conflicting stories, and the conflicting stories are centered around the fact that those people may be lying about a show even happening. Like what you said at the end, that Dave Chappelle hadn't even performed anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I think I said this before. I don't know anything about this situation to even give an informed opinion without being uncomfortable, because I don't know. I don't know why these people are fighting. I don't know why they've been fighting. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it. But to what Chike said, it does something to you as soon as you hop on social media and you see babies and children, whether they're crying or they're in a body bag.
Yeah.
And this just taps into that psyche again of social media will put you in a place that you didn't even ask to be put in.
Yeah.
Like how we've been complaining about Jada Smith and Will, like they take us out the group chat. But I don't know. And Chike already said it. We get a certain type of, I don't know if I want to say strength from comedians. In the face of adversity, comedians are those people who can turn something, you know what I mean, and at a bad moment, bring us all together with laughter.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the sensitivity of the world that we live in now, comedians can't even be comedians.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because that's their craft. That's what they do. So it puts them at a disadvantage now. And it's like, how do you continue to maneuver around this sensitivity landscape that we have now? And everybody and their mama, because then at this point, as soon as you say something, somebody is going to come right out. Oh, you offended me.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I saw the word said some comedians that won't even they have stopped doing stand-up because they know they'll get canceled. You know what I mean? Because you think back in the Richard Pryor days and all those good days, they said anything and people were cracking up, you know what I mean? But now there's so many groups. You know, I saw something, we have a little extra time, so I'll go into this. Or something on our TikTok page where young Jock, he was asked in a Vlad TV interview if he would perform for an LGBTQ event, because Boosie had said that he would never do it. For $250,000, he wouldn't do it. And so Jock pretty much said that if he doesn't agree with that or doesn't support that community, he shouldn't take money from them. And he said that he he wouldn't do it either, because he said, I don't have a problem with the group, but I don't want to see men perform, singing my songs or reciting my songs, looking at me, making faces, lusty eyes, kind of thing, he said. Well, he got a lot of backlash for that, of course. So he went on the show in Atlanta, a radio show in Atlanta, and he explained himself. He said, I actually have friends who are in that community. He said, but me, he said, people don't know. He said that I have performed at LGBTQ event, but it was for women. It was lesbians. And he said he felt comfortable with that. And one time he was at an event for, it was men, and he was invited to come to be the hype man or something. And he said someone did hit on him and it made him feel uncomfortable. And he said he didn't think he would ever do that again. He said, but I'm not saying that I have a problem with anyone. I'm very secure in who I am. He said, but that's just not, that's not something I feel comfortable doing. And so a caller called in and they kind of got into it. The caller was saying that he was doing hate speech. He said he's never done hate speech for any group. And he said that even the conversation about not wanting to perform for men again, he said he never even told that story publicly because he didn't want to say anything negative about any community, but he knew for himself he wouldn't do it. And so he was asked that question. That's why he answered the way he did. But it was just interesting because if you listen, I don't know if I'm articulating how he clarified himself, but I agreed with him. You know what I mean? I do think the first comments he said on Vlad TV were he was being funny, kind of joking about the men with lipstick and stuff like that. But when he clarified it in the Atlanta interview, it made sense to me what he was saying. But it's like no one can have an opinion. So what do you think about this? What do you think about just him clarifying what he meant and and still receiving backlash?
I mean, I think that it was his own personal choice, to clarify, but I'm a firm believer if you are staunch in your belief about something, and it's who you are and it's what your principal nature is, I don't need to explain myself to anybody. I'm grown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? and I'm gonna stand on it, whatever. And you know, I think that's sort of what's wrong with society now. People that do not stand for anything anymore. It's like you can be bent and you can be molded into believing whatever the next person wants you to believe, or what a group of people want you to believe, or the narrative that they want you to accept. You know, it's okay for you not to like something. It's okay. It's okay for it not to be your cup of tea. It's okay. Because that wheel goes all the way around. Everybody has their thing. But the whole point of us being here is to accept each other and to love each other in spite of those things.
I agree. Yeah.
That's what makes us uniquely human.
Yep. Lanier, what are your thoughts?
I think sometimes with these quote unquote podcasters and interviewers, they have ulterior motives, and they have these loaded, baited questions to cause some sort of, to create some sort of controversy. Because as Chike said, not everything is everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Just because someone declines to do something doesn't mean, like, you know, they haven't, it doesn't matter what it means. Just because they decline, that's their prerogative.
Yeah. But
it just seems like when you decline, now it's like, oh, but you hate that type of group because you declined.
Yeah.
And then it gets spun into this whole web of foolishness.
Right.
Because I think, was it Boosie who said he got offered like $250,000 or something, and he's been strong, like, as far as like what he's been strong in his spot about his stance and how he feels. He has not diverted or deviated from what he's felt. That's how that man feels. You can't crucify that man for how he feels.
Right.
That's him. That's him. If that's how he feels, then move on to someone else. And another thing with him, he don't care.
He don't.
What you think about how he feels, and that's why he continues to move the way that he does.
Yeah.
Because when you start to allow people to mixoplix what your original stance was, that becomes the problem. You're not standing resolute in your space and whatever your truth is.
Right. You're out here looking felonious. You're looking felonious.
You're looking like a fraud.
And this we could probably talk about this again at some other time, but there's a part 2 to this too, and that's this victim culture, because that goes hand in hand. The victim culture. Everybody is so offended. Everybody's so hurt. I want to be recognized for my hurtness or my victimhood. Yeah, no.
And it'll be under the guise of, oh, I'm speaking my truth.
Yeah. But my thing is, if someone is telling you they don't agree with your community or whatever, why would you want to pay them anyway? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to give them money that much? And John said he's never been paid that much to perform anywhere. You know, so if he's saying that I still wouldn't take it, he believes that's not what he wants to do.
Anyway. And he only got like one song, right?
That's what someone said. We're gonna perform, right?
It's going down,
right, right. All right. Well, last story. So R&B Mount Rushmore. So Single Mario, he was asked by TMZ who he believes would be at the Mount Rushmore for R&B artists, and he said Michael Jackson, Beyonce, himself, and Whitney Houston. And so, of course, he got some backlash for him playing himself. But some people are like, you're supposed to say yourself. You're supposed to think highly of yourself. Well, they asked Cisco about it, and Cisco said that Mario doesn't have the numbers in terms of selling to be up there. He said, I'm sorry, unfortunately, this is about numbers. And he doesn't have the numbers in terms of how much music he sold. But what do you think? I think, you know, he named some good people, but he left a lot of people off that list that should be at the top. Let me ask you, Lynette, who would be your R&B at Mount Rushmore?
I absolutely have no idea. Jesus Christmas. But first and foremost, let me say this. Michael Jackson is always gonna be on any list.
That's your boy.
I have. He's always gonna be on any list that I have.
Right.
You said R&B though. Yeah, that's because I can't. I would, yeah, because Prince got to be somewhere he not R&B, and that's kind of hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but Michael Jackson's on it, so y'all gonna have to move on. I know Chike got some answers for you.
Chike, who's on the list?
So I had thought about it. So I'm gonna pick 2 males and 2 females.
Okay.
It would be
Ouch.
Prince, Stevie Wonder,
Yes.
Aretha Franklin, and Anita Baker.
That's good picks. You know, I gotta get my girl Whitney. She be up there. I was thinking Marvin Gaye. You said Stevie Wonder, he would definitely have to be up there. And I mean, it's hard because so many people could be on there, but definitely Aretha, you know. It's just hard because there's so many. You know, I was in the Uber ride on Saturday night, and I was listening, and I don't know what playlist this woman had, but she had all the songs on her playlist. Usually I have my headphones on, so well, talk to me. I'm sitting there rocking to her music. So many great musicians out there. But anyway, we're ended there. Lydia, thank you as always for Hot Topics. Chike, I'll see you in movie reviews, and we'll be right back after this.